Think about the last time you had to make a significant financial decision. Maybe it was whether to take a risk on a new job or spend money on something that felt indulgent, or ask for a raise, or invest in yourself in some way. And somewhere in that moment, maybe loudly, maybe quietly, a voice showed up. Not your voice exactly. A voice that sounded like a conclusion. Something like, "People like us don't do that. Money doesn't grow on trees. We don't talk about money." Or maybe just a feeling. A tightening in your chest. A pull toward the safe choice. A vague sense that wanting more was somehow asking for trouble. That voice is not yours. You inherited it, and it's been making financial decisions on your behalf, quietly, automatically, without your permission, for most of your adult life. Here's what most financial advice completely misses. When people struggle with money, the standard assumption is that the problem is behavioral or informational. They don't know enough, or they don't have enough discipline. And sometimes that's true. But a significant portion of the time, the real problem runs much deeper. It's not what you know about money. It's what you believe about money. And those beliefs, those automatic, emotionally loaded, largely unconscious assumptions about what money means, who deserves it, whether it's safe, and what it says about you, were formed before you were old enough to question them. Researchers in financial psychology call these money scripts. A money script is a core belief about money that developed in childhood, usually by watching, absorbing, and interpreting the financial environment you grew up in. Not what your parents explicitly taught you. Most parents don't sit down and deliver financial philosophy lessons. It's what you observed, how they talked about money or refused to, how they reacted when there wasn't enough, what they communicated about people who had more, what the energy in the house felt like when a bill arrived or a financial decision had to be made. You were watching all of it, absorbing all of it, and drawing conclusions that would shape your entire relationship with money for decades. The research on this was largely developed by financial psychologist Brad Klontz, who identified 4 main money script patterns. Understanding which one, or which combination, you're running can explain a lot of the financial behavior that has probably confused you about yourself. The first is money avoidance. This is the belief, usually absorbed from a household where money was a source of stress or shame, that money is dangerous, corrupting, or simply too uncomfortable to engage with. People with money avoidance scripts tend to under-earn, avoid looking at their accounts, sabotage financial progress when it gets to a certain level, or give money away faster than they accumulate it because unconsciously having it feels unsafe or wrong. They often grew up in environments where wealth was associated with greed, where financial conversations were tense or taboo, or where struggling was treated as a form of moral virtue. The second is money worship. This is the belief that more money will eventually solve everything, that the reason life feels hard or incomplete is fundamentally financial, and that a certain income or net worth will finally deliver the security, peace, or happiness you're looking for. People running money worship scripts tend to chase income in ways that don't produce the satisfaction they expect, overspend when stressed, and perpetually defer well-being to a future financial state. The money goal keeps moving because the emotional problem the money is supposed to solve isn't actually a financial one. The third is money status. This is the belief that your financial position is your social position, that your net worth and your self-worth are deeply intertwined. People with money status scripts tend to overspend on visible symbols of success, compare their financial situation to others constantly, and feel genuine shame when their financial reality doesn't match the image they're projecting. This one often develops in households where parental worth was evaluated through financial achievement, or where keeping up appearances was treated as essential. The fourth is money vigilance. This is the belief that you must always be financially alert, careful, and prepared, that financial security requires constant watchfulness, and that relaxing your financial guard is dangerous. Unlike the others, money vigilance can look like good financial behavior from the outside, saving diligently, avoiding debt, being cautious with spending. But taken to an extreme, it creates an inability to enjoy financial security even after it's been achieved, excessive anxiety about money even when the numbers are objectively fine, and difficulty spending on things that would genuinely improve your quality of life. Now, here's what's interesting. Most people aren't running just one of these. They're running a combination, often inherited from different family members, sometimes internally contradictory. You might have money vigilance from one parent, save everything, be careful, don't trust, and money status from the other. Appearances matter, look successful, don't let people see you struggle. And those two scripts can pull in completely different directions without you ever realizing it's a conflict inherited from outside rather than a confusion native to you. The reason this matters more than just intellectual self-knowledge is that money scripts don't just affect how you feel about money. They affect how you act. They create behavioral patterns that repeat across years, across relationships, across income levels. Someone running a strong money avoidance script will find ways to sabotage financial progress regardless of their income. They'll spend it, give it away, make poor decisions when the account gets to a level that feels uncomfortable. Someone with a strong money worship script will reach financial milestones and feel nothing. The goalpost moves, the satisfaction doesn't arrive, and they push harder toward the next number without understanding why they're still unsatisfied. These aren't discipline failures, they're script execution. What conventional financial advice gets wrong here is profound. The entire personal finance industry is built on the assumption that you are a rational agent who will respond to correct information with correct behavior. Tell people to save more, and they'll save more. Show them the compound interest chart, and they'll invest. Explain the benefits of budgeting, and they'll budget. None of this accounts for the fact that many financial behaviors are not decisions at all. They're automatic responses to deeply held beliefs that the person may not even be consciously aware of. You can know that saving is important and still feel a visceral resistance to it if your money script says that accumulating wealth is dangerous or selfish. The information doesn't override the script. So the question is, how do you actually identify your money script and start to change it? The first step is tracing the belief to its origin. When you notice a financial pattern in yourself, the avoidance, the impulse spending, the inability to spend on yourself, the constant comparison, ask yourself not just what you're doing, but what you believe that makes this behavior feel correct or necessary. And then ask where that belief came from, not in a blaming way. Your parents were running their own inherited scripts, shaped by their own childhoods and their own financial environments. This isn't about assigning fault. It's about getting clarity on the origin so you can separate the belief from yourself. The second is recognizing that your script isn't a truth about money. It's a truth about the environment you were raised in. Your money avoidance script was adaptive if you grew up in an environment where money was a source of genuine harm or instability. Your money vigilance was protective if unpredictability was real and constant watchfulness was genuinely necessary. The script was the right response to a specific set of conditions. It's just that those conditions no longer exist in the same form, and the script is still running in an environment it was never designed for. The third, and this is the most practically useful, is identifying one specific financial behavior that you suspect is script-driven rather than choice-driven, and deliberately interrupting it. Not overhauling your entire relationship with money overnight, just one pattern. If you never look at your accounts, schedule one account review this week and notice what comes up emotionally. If you consistently give money away that you need, say no to one request and notice the feelings that follow. If you spend compulsively when stressed, pause the next time you feel the urge and ask what need the spending is actually trying to meet. The point isn't to immediately change the behavior. It's to create a gap between the script and the action. To introduce a moment of awareness where before there was only automatic response. Because here's the thing. You can't change a script you don't know you're running. And most people have been running theirs for so long that it feels like their personality, their preferences, their values, not an inherited set of beliefs that was installed before they had any say in the matter. You have more authorship over your financial life than your script has let you believe, not because you need to work harder or want it more, but because the person making a lot of your financial decisions has been following rules written for someone else's life, in someone else's circumstances, a very long time ago. Seeing that clearly is the beginning of writing something different. If this named something that's been running quietly in the background for you, subscribe. Every week, we dig into the psychological patterns that shape financial behavior in ways most people never see coming. And drop a comment. What's the money message you grew up with? I'd genuinely like to know.